and welcome to my podcast. I'm so glad you decided to join me today. I wanted to create a podcast to remind you that skating is for everybody. On today's podcast, we're going to be talking to Danny Tate from Pelham, Alabama. So sit back, grab a mug of your favorite beverage, and listen to this episode of On the Ice with Bernice. And remember, everyone is welcome on the ice. Well, there we go. Well, hello, Danny Tate. How are you doing?
I'm just fine and dandy. And how are you, Miss Bernice?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for asking. I'm just so excited to have you on my podcast today and just to learn a little bit more about you.
That's scary.
Oh, I'm sure it's not. So I first wanted to ask you to tell us a little bit more about your skating. How did you get started in the world of skating?
Let's see. My siblings, Ginger, Tony, and Carrie, all skated, and so I started skating when I was probably 18 months to 2 years old.
Oh wow!
And at the time, Robert Unger was the director of the skate school, and then I just started skating more and more and more. And my siblings, Ginger and Tony, they skated together some. They did some ice shows and stuff like that, local, nothing, on the big side of things. And then I saw Robin Cousins skate, and he used to have this Russian split jump that, he would do a Russian split jump, and then he was a Russian split flip. And so he would actually land backwards instead of forward. And I always wanted to learn how to do that because he was so amazing, So that's how I kind of got hooked.
Now, I think this summer when we were working on National Showcase stuff, I got to see a picture of you doing a Russian split. So were you able to do that Russian split flip thing?
Oh, absolutely. I was. Yes, I was. I was able to do it.
Can you still do the Russian split thing?
Not with my artificial hip, I can't. It would probably get slung out somewhere, and then I'd be one-legged or something. It'd be a bad day.
Yeah, that would not be good. That's something I have to watch too, with my age and me still skating is, my hips.
Well, taking that walker out there, you might be able to do it with the walker. I've seen you do some pretty incredible things with it.
Well, we'll see what the future has for me and my skating. Well, we'll see. But all right, so you started skating in Huntsville, and are you still in Huntsville, or
No,
did you stay there?
No, I moved to Pelham, Alabama. I was asked to come down to interview for a position running the skate school, and that would have been in 1997. So, you'd have been a little girl back then.
No, no, you would have been a young whippersnapper. I still would have been quite old.
But yeah, I came down and interviewed, and I moved on down. They offered me the job, and I've been hooked ever since.
How wonderful. So I'm not going to ask how old you are, because I know that when you get older, I personally know you don't really want to throw your age around too much. But are you still skating today?
Right now, I just actually retired from the city December, and so I do still skate some, but not much right now. Trying to look for the new adventure for Danny Tate. We're trying to figure that out right now. You never know. I might build an ice rink.
Hey, I mean, it looks like behind you, you got some land. You could just, I mean, I know in Alabama it's hot, but I don't know. I feel like you could figure something out. So, have you always wanted to do something with skating, or are there other things that, you wanted to be at some point?
Well, Bernice, whenever I was in college, my father was a doctor, and always thought I wanted to go to medical school, and so I actually was pre-med in college, and also had business degrees too. But it was one of those things that I got the offer to come down here, and it was kind of a dream come true to do something that you love. And it was funny. My father, he and I were talking on one of our farms, and he said, he goes, "Are you really sure you want to go to medical school whenever you really are good at this ice skating thing?" And so he kind of gave me a little nudge.
Hmm. So, so you went to business school and med school, but you also you grew up on a farm?
Oh yeah, yeah. And I didn't actually go to med school. I was pre-med.
Oh, okay. I guess there's a difference.
you
I don't
know,
know. I've never done that. Mm.
but yeah, I grew up on a farm. We had a whole bunch of cattle. I raised peacocks and turkeys and guineas, and oh yeah,
In
yeah,
Alabama?
yep, North Alabama.
Wow. Hmm. I didn't know peacocks could be in North Alabama.
Oh,
Huh.
I had a bunch of them. Yes, I did. They're
So
noisy little cusses.
how did growing up on a farm, like, how could you, because in a farm you have to get up early to milk the cows and all that. Then how did you skate as well? Because I know a lot of us skate early mornings.
Well, actually, I went really early morning. I would open the facility. The owner of the ice rink, Ben Wilcoxon, I worked for him. And so I started, I would get up about 4:15, go into the rink and have ice available for all the pair skaters and ice dancers around 5 a.m. I was driving the Zamboni by the time I was 16.
Oh,
And
wow.
so yeah, maybe I may have actually been 15 whenever I started. But yeah, I've been in the ice rink business for a very long time. And actually, my college, Bernice, was paid for by my skating.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah, I actually worked for the University of Alabama in Huntsville, their hockey program, and for about 12 years actually, and worked with them on skating skills, and I ordered equipment. I did all kinds of things, and then I was an undergrad assistant, then a grad assistant, and so yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Huh. So you, as a figure skater, you were able to work in the hockey world. Now,
Oh,
I haven't heard of too many figure skaters doing that. Could you tell me more about that?
oh yeah, I worked with them on power skating, and especially your defensemen and those guys. You'd work on on how to make them faster, stronger on their feet, to where they can turn their transitions. So yeah, I worked with a lot of them. We had two of our guys went and skated Team USA. That's collegiate Team USA, and I worked with both Mike O'Connor and Mike Winville, that went and skated for Team USA, and the collegiate team. I also taught a young man that played for the Philadelphia Flyers for season two, whenever he was like 5 years old. So how to skate.
Wow. Huh. That's very interesting. So, how were you able to skate a lot, like figure skate, while you were doing the hockey or
Oh
teaching the
yeah,
hockey, I
actually
guess?
that paid for some of my skating, my ice
Mm.
time. I would get free ice time.
Oh, well,
So I
that's
would,
very nice.
yeah, yes. It was wonderful because we didn't have a NHL sized rink. whenever I was that young. And so our rink was 60 feet by 120. And so that would let me skate at the Von Braun Civic Center, and that was an NHL rink, and so size-wise, and so we could skate there for free, and they were really good to us.
All right, so 60 by 1. What's the size of a normal rink? Because I don't know.
So a regulation rink, NHL size rink, is 85 by 200. An Olympic sheet of ice is 100 by 200.
All right, and then as an NHL, so what's that? National Hockey League.
National Hockey League, yes,
All
ma'am.
right, and is that the same size as an Olympic sheet of ice?
Nope, it's smaller.
Interesting. Is it the same size as the regular sheet of ice that most, I guess, if you were to go public skating at a rink, it would be that size?
Correct. That's right. Most rinks are NHL, most of them.
Interesting. So in your skating, did you ever do any shows or do any of that, or have you devoted most of your
I never really did the Disney on Ice or any of that. My skating partner, Sarah, she did. And some of my friends, they did. But I really thought at that point in time I wanted to go to medical school, and so college was screaming my name.
And it does take up a lot of your time.
Yes, and I still skated and I still competed until later, but it was not the same, because definitely wanted to start pursuing school and a career and things like that. I just didn't realize at the time that I was doing the career that I was kind of meant to do.
So you moved down to Pelham, Alabama, and became a skate school director. What were some of your favorite things about that job?
Oh, wow. That list is long. I think if you were to wrap it into one thing, it would be that you take someone and they end up loving it as much as you do. I have skaters that I taught in Huntsville that skate till this day and coach till this day. Several of them are actually, I grew up with in Huntsville, and they coach on staff and worked in the program. To see somebody learn something for the first time and see that joy and mature and grow in the sport and take it until they're an adult and still really enjoy it. There's no greater joy than to see that. It's very fulfilling. And I've worked with PSA, and that's some other things that I've really enjoyed seeing. Whenever I first started my coaching career, I wanted to learn how to be a better coach, so I invested a lot of time in my ratings exams, and now I am a master rated coach in 4 disciplines, and I work with them at different rating sites, and so now I test coaches coming up, and it's nice. It's really nice to have that camaraderie and start sharing the knowledge to other people and see them get excited about coaching and creating a legacy for themselves.
So what are some of the hard things about being a skate school director?
Parents. It's funny. I say it jokingly, but in all seriousness, it's easy if it's just the kids. And if money is no option, that even makes it even better. But trying to learn to budget your time and budget their time to where you can help people meet their goals and what they want to do in their life, and help them. It's just one of those things that it's really it's hard because sometimes people are limited, and they can't always, they don't have the resources, and that's also been a frustration here too. We're not a training center, like some of the large places that have a lot of other things that are offered to some of the skaters. So you have to be creative, and part of that was really fun. I worked with George Monet here in Pelham. He owns Pure Motion, and he did a lot of work with our athletes off ice. And we worked with exclusively ballet with Monica. Heck, we had Robert Hoffman, who did Step Up 2. He worked with a lot of our athletes on hip hop and jazz, and he even performed with us. We had them up on the stage, and then he taught the whole hip hop number to our kids on the ice. So yeah, there's so many things that you just have to think outside the box, especially whenever you are not a training center, to where things are already organized.
That sounds like a challenge, but something good for creative people.
It's definitely a challenge.
So you've obviously been skating for pretty much your whole life. What made you stick with the sport?
Oh, Bernice, I think that the people that you're around, it's the people, it's the relationships. I think that that's the one thing that I struggle with now, not being at the rink every day, is the relationships. And it's this being able to, things that I get excited about. We've hosted one regionals, 2 sectional championships, 2 theater on ice nationals, and then a qualifier as well, one of the summer series with theater, and you just develop so many relationships with so many people in the rink, outside of the rink. Heck, it even our electrician. I mean, things that our HVAC people. You kind of develop this family of folks that after 25 years of doing it, it's all about the relationships, and I think that's the part that's the hardest part of not being involved in it every day now.
Well, my other question for you is, you've been skating a long time, you met a lot of people, you love the community. This is one of the things I'm loving about starting this podcast, is just getting to talk to people in the skating world and making more connections. It's been fun. And as a figure skating coach and as a former learn to skate director, can you tell if someone's gonna stick it out and skate for their whole lives, like when they first, maybe not when they first start skating, but is there some sort of sign or some sort of tell? Does that make sense?
You can always tell when somebody is hooked, and it doesn't always necessarily last a lifetime, but there are definite signs where you see kids that they just love being on the ice, and it's funny, they never seem to stray too far away. Eventually they even bring their kids back, and that's really exciting. Whenever it hurts your heart a little bit too, because it tells you how old you are, that you started somebody when they were 3 years old, and then you go to their wedding, and then that they have had a child, and so it's a good feeling and a bad feeling at the same time. But I think you've lived through that.
Many of my, no, I won't get into that. So, would you have any words of advice or encouragement for anyone who, might be going through a hard time in skating and are thinking about giving it up even though they love it?
You know, I would just mainly tell somebody, don't let anybody take your joy away. Because Bernice, right now, I'm struggling with that myself. In that um, it's something I love. It's something that I'm not going to let somebody take that away from me. I will reinvent myself and I will stay involved for the rest of my life. If that means that I have to do things differently, I mean, heck, there are areas of becoming a judge, becoming a technical specialist, um, coaching elsewhere. Those are all options. I love the Pelham area and I really want to stay in this area. Uh, so we'll see. I'm a very resilient person and I'm patient.
No,
Very
I
patient.
really I like that. Don't let anyone steal your joy. And
No,
because skating, like just like you were saying, skating really is for everyone. That
yeah,
you don't just have to go to the Olympics to
no,
love skating. And there's so many different things you can do. You can judge, you can coach, you can volunteer. You can
yeah.
even just be a fan. That's part of the skating world. Um, so.
I had to regret this past week. I wish I would have gone to nationals. I
mm,
kind of got sidetracked with some other things, and that was one of the things Bernie said I wish I would have done.
Well, there will be other nationals,
Yes, there
but
will be.
I mean, maybe not as close as Nashville, because Nashville, I guess, is pretty close to Pelham, Alabama.
Maybe you'll go with me to the next nationals.
Oh my goodness, I would absolutely love that. We would have so much fun.
It would be a good time.
It would be such a good time. Well, Danny, is there anything else you want to let the world know?
No, no, I'm good. I'm smiling, profiling, and just happy to be alive.
I'm happy you're alive, and I'm happy that you're not letting anybody steal your joy for skating.
Nope,
Just makes
no
my
way.
heart happy to hear.
Well,
Well, Danny,
you never know. You might see me competing for another team somewhere. Never know.
well, hey, I might come join you. Maybe we could do a
Ooh,
duet or something.
I would do a duet with you.
Ah,
Absolutely, Bernice.
that would be fun. We'll have to talk about this after and, keep people
Uh,
in suspense.
maybe we could do a pair lift.
Oh my goodness. Now, am I lifting you or are you lifting me? Because, my butt's really big.
I bet we could get you up in the air.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about heights.
You just never know. Sometimes they come down a little hard though.
Well, you have to promise not to drop me. Because
I won't
I think
drop you.
my bones would break. Like, I know you have an artificial hip, but I'm trying not to get one.
Well, I might be getting a second one. You never know.
Oh, oh
This makes them.
goodness.
It's like being bionic, though. You know,
I guess.
you're
I
like a
don't
million
know.
dollar man.
I like natural, you know,
Natural.
all natural.
Yes, you are all natural. Yes, you
Except
are.
nails. I'm okay with acrylic nails. That's not natural, but they're fun to play with, to like Dolly Parton and where she wrote 9 to 5 on her nails.
Yeah. There's a lot about Dolly Parton that's not natural.
Yeah, I guess that's true. All right.
Oh,
Well,
bless
Danny
her.
Tate, it's just been so fun to talk to you today. I've just really enjoyed getting to know your history a little bit and a little bit more about you. And I can't wait to see what the future holds in our relationship. And yeah, thanks for coming.
Thank you for the invitation. I really enjoyed getting to have our chat, Bernice.
Anytime.
Thank you for listening to this episode of On the Ice with Bernice. Today we talked with Danny Tate about his skating and the joy he finds in the sport. Be sure to subscribe and follow On the Ice with Bernice on social media. If you would like to support me, Bernice, and my podcast, On the Ice with Bernice, please consider supporting my Patreon. And remember, everyone is welcome on the ice.